4th and goal to go to 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Here is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
Whoa, Bernie, welcome to the Gridiron, baby. If you give this video a thumbs up or maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking phenomenal. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. It's totally free of charge. But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. If you want to help support my channel out, description box below, very top link, take you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So once again, if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance once again. Thank you. And then finally, just underneath that, there's another link in that description box. Takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, The Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 10,700 members in the group, and it is doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I got internet access, I am putting stuff in this group darn near 365. It's called the New York Giants, The Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. Well, one thing we got to always be dissatisfied on is another, it's just like Groundhog's Day, right? Just another week, another fourth quarter collapse, another loss, another game we could have, should have won. But on the bright side, it was just a matter of time whether they want to let them, play out the rest of the season, and then can't 42 seconds after the final game's over with, or whether we're gonna what game they were gonna get him back out of here. It was just a matter of time, right? You always feel bad, because he's calling the plays, but he's not on the field. It is what it is, but you don't fire the players, you fire the coaches. Now you can sit the players, like maybe a Banks or somebody like that if they're not performing up to snuff, what we think they could be. You can sit them, but for the most part, you're not going to fire the players, especially if they're under contract and they got guaranteed money and all this stuff and everything. It is what it is. But so you fire the coaches. So Mr. Bowen is going. Thank goodness, because the thing was that it wasn't like, well, we should be a top 2 defense, in the league. It's that or nothing. But you certainly, my goodness, close to the top 10, top 15 at least. With the amount of talent that we got and the amount of money we spent on this defense and everything. It's not performing anywhere near what it should be. You out there in the league and you look at there's other defenses that are performing better that have less than what the Giants have, and it's just going to be very, very interesting. Once again, as is past for 952 years in a row. It'll be a very interesting offseason for the New York Football Giants. Who the coach is. Who the coach is going to be, offensive-minded, defensive-minded. Obviously you have to, whoever the new coach is, taking care of and developing Jackson Dart is paramount over anything. You got your quarterback, right? You got to keep him, got to keep him ascending, right? He's your quarterback, hopefully. Unless these concussions or he gets an injury or something else happens. But, he should be your quarterback for quite a while. Let's hope. Okay. That's paramount. But it's going to be very interesting to see, obviously, in the offseason, which direction the Giants go as far as getting a new coach. if they go defensive, I mean, I'm just throwing out. They get Robert Saleh in here. I don't know if, he'd even want to come back here, but, to New York, New Jersey area. But I mean, somebody defensive minded like that, maybe he could, but then you're going to need to get somebody really good in here to keep developing Jackson Dart. Now, who knows how they would go, right? As far as with something like that. Let's hope whoever comes in here keeps Carmen Basillo, because for the most, I mean, once again, I'm not saying we're a top 5, top 10, maybe offensive line unit, but the offensive line not doing too bad this year. I mean, that's one of the things. But obviously, of course, having the guys being in there, it took a little while for Andrew Thomas, to get in. But once he's been in, the unit's been really solid. Even when Illuminor had to go out, Marcus Bowen in there, looked pretty good. GVR's, the guy's, 99 years old, not doing too bad. I don't know if you're going to bring him back for another year. Who knows, right? But the offensive line unit's been looking pretty good. Once again, be kind of interesting because just saying, if Kafka is not the coach and you go, defensive, would Kafka want to come back? Would whoever, because he was scoring some points. We're going to talk about this in a little bit. We had over like 511 yards of offense. That's not too bad on the road with a backup quarterback. A number 1 wide receiver is Nomas. A number 1 running back is Nomas. That's not too bad. And actually, if you want to look at it, right? I mean, in the beginning of the season, James Winston is a 3rd-string quarterback. Not too bad. Not many other teams can go maybe into Detroit and whoever that is, and you take their best wide receiver, nope, throw him in the trash. Can't have him. Take their number 1 running back, take him, throw him in the trash. Nope, can't have him either. Take their 3rd-string quarterback and put him in there and let him score 27 points and put up 511 yards of offense. Not many teams are going to be able to do that. Giants did that. So it's going to be interesting. Not sure, as I said. I mean, if another coach comes in here, would they want to keep Kafka here? Would Kafka want to be here? But I said, whoever they bring in, the development of Jackson Dart is huge. Huge, because hopefully we finally have our quarterback of the future, and he's got to keep ascending, right? But it was just a matter of time. Thank God they got rid of him. Kafka seems to have a lot of Charlie Bullen. Have a lot of confidence in him, although he's never been a defensive coordinator. He's never called defensive plays. He's the what do you want to call it? The outside linebacker / edge rusher coach. We get some decent production out of him, but then again, you would kind of hope so, considering we have Kayvon Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, and Brian Burns. You would figure, but Kafka named him the interim, I guess, whatever you want to call it, defensive coordinator. So now, I mean, this is great for Kafka, and it's great for Bowen too, because they're putting play calling now. Actually now with Kafka, and Kafka is now a head coach. He's got that on his resume. Bowen has now been named, the interim defensive coordinator, so he's going to be calling the plays. He's going to be the defensive coordinator, so he's got this on his resume. So this huge opportunity for these guys, whether it be with the Giants or someplace else. Who knows? Because I mean, that's one thing that does wind up happening quite a bit is when a new coach comes in. A lot of times he wants to bring his own players in. Well, yep, his own players too, but his own coaches in too. So very, very interesting. So, of course, Shane Bowen has been relieved of his duties. An outside linebacker coach, edge rusher coach, whatever you want to call him, Charlie Bullen, will take over in this role of defensive coordinator for the Giants. Now, I said Bullen has been around for a while. He was with Iowa, from 2008 to 2011, he was a student assistant quarterback coach, a student assistant, just not the quarterback coach, but student assistant. Then he was a graduate assistant defensive backs coach. So he's been on offense and defense. So then finally in 2012, I do believe Shane was there. It was in Miami. He was a defensive assistant. Then he was the assistant defensive line coach for the Dolphins in 2013 to 2015. He was the assistant linebacker coach from 2016 to 2018. Then with the Cardinals, he was the linebacker coach. He was the assistant linebacker coach once again. Then finally he got promoted. And he was the outside linebacker coach for the Cardinals from 2020 to 2022. And then he went to college. He went to Illinois. He was the outside linebacker and the pass rush coordinator for Illinois in 2023. In the past 2 seasons, he's been the outside linebacker coach for the Giants. And, for the most part, of course, you would expect that, given the talent that we've had, given the amount of money, right, and the draft capital we've spent. I mean, when you have 3 first-round picks, as edge rushers. Now, Burns, he was like number 16. He was either, I think, the one before Dexter. So, I mean, you got pick number 3 in the draft, pick number 5 in the draft, number 16 in the draft as your edge rushers. That's not too bad. You expect some production. And we're certainly getting some production, without question. So, but Kafka, he's saying all the right things about him, but, he seems to think he'll do a good job. Kafka, obviously after, Tim Kelly became the coordinator when Kafka was named coach, but then with Bowen's departure, left another significant change to coaching staff. So Brian Daboll was dismissed 2 weeks ago, Kafka taking over the interim coach. And then Bowen, when the second season with the coordinator has been let go. And then we got Bullen stepping in for him. So we got, a lot of things shuffling around. But, for the most part, it's guys are leaving, but we still got guys on the staff who are taking over the role. So we don't have, other guys, outside guys coming in here for the time being. That's possibly going to change, possibly after the season's over with. Regardless, because if Bowen winds up becoming the defensive coordinator next season, right, we're going to need an outside linebacker coach. We might need somebody to take Tim Kelly's spot, right? But even if Kafka does wind up being the head coach, they still need to do a coaching search, right? It's just not like, Kafka's the man. We don't have to, we're like with the Rooney Rule and all that, you still have to go out and interview. So Kafka, in his news conference today, he said, I have a lot of faith in Charlie, and obviously these decisions aren't easy, and Shane's a good person, Kafka said Monday morning. He's a good man. He's a good coach. Just the results just weren't where we wanted them to be. And so Charlie's going to step up for us and rally the group. Defensive staff will rally around Charlie and put together a great plan. I got a lot of confidence in the room and a lot of confidence in our staff to do that. Bowen, who has 18 years of coaching experience with 12 in the NFL, is in the second season as the outside linebacker coach. Prior to the Giants, Bowen served as the outside linebacker coach and pass rush coordinator at Illinois in 2023. Bowen was the Cardinals' outside linebacker coach from 2020 to 2022 after originally joining their staff as an assistant linebacker coach in 2019. Then he spent 7 years with the Dolphins. And his first 4 years were in college when he was the student assistant, the graduate assistant for Iowa. Before attending Iowa, Bowen played quarterback at Harper College and St. Norbert, which is in a college which is in Wisconsin. He earned a bachelor's degree from Iowa in finance in 2008 and a master's degree in sports management in 2011. So, Bullen, he played quarterback in college. I mean, not for Ohio State or Georgia or Alabama, not like that, but he played quarterback. And here he is, the defensive coordinator now. So, he knows both sides of the ball. We're going to give Charlie the reins to go and make the corrections that he sees fit for the defense, whether it's personnel, whether it's scheme, whether it's communication calls, Kafka said. And so he's going to have to work hand in hand with the whole defensive unit to make sure that it's his vision and how he sees it. And obviously, I'll have my fingerprint on there as well and be there and try to be an asset for the group as well. So now one of the things was, of course, Kafka was asked after our 715th consecutive fourth quarter collapse of the season, and of course he's saying all the right things at the right time and all that. They were asking him, do you still have confidence in Shane Bowen? And he said, oh yeah, absolutely. Probably had his fingers crossed or something as he was lying. Hopefully his nose wasn't growing. Oh yeah, absolutely. I got confidence. So then, less than 18 hours later, Bowen was gone. So of course they asked him that at the press conference. How come you said 18 hours ago Bowen was okay, he was great. 18 hours later he's gone. What's going on with that? So once again, Kafka had to say all the right things here. He said, after having slept on the state of the team following its sixth straight loss, Giants interim head coach Mike Kafka, who not even 24 hours ago said he had faith in embattled defensive coordinator Shane Bowen, decided that a change had to be made after witnessing the defense fail to protect a 10-point lead late in the game for the fifth time this season. I just had an opportunity to watch the tape, look back at a few weeks, watch a lot of the defense, watch a lot of what was kind of going on. The communication just felt like it was the right time to do it. Kafka told reporters on Monday morning after confirming the move had been made. When I got the job, I didn't want to make a lot of rash decisions and jump to anything really quickly. I wanted some time to sit back, evaluate it, look it over, and figure out what the best things were to do. I thought that today was the right time. The right time is clearly too late for the Giants, who are officially eliminated from postseason consideration and who are on a pace to finish with fewer wins than last year's franchise worst 3-game campaign, barring a turnaround. Well, this wasn't a franchise worst in 1966. They were 1-12-1. So, and in 1973 and 1974, they had back-to-back 2-win seasons. So, I don't know. I don't know what a franchise worst 3 wins is, because there was clearly a couple seasons prior where they had less wins than 3. But Kafka's choice to serve as interim defensive coordinator is outside linebacker coach Charlie Bullen, 18-year coaching veteran. And it is a bit odd because they were talking about a curious pick over defensive back coach Marquand Manuel and defensive line coach Andre Patterson, both of whom have had NFL defensive coordinator experience. He said, I have a lot of faith in Charlie and the pedigree that he brings coming into this defense, Kafka said. I think he's a smart coach. I think he's detailed. He's aggressive, and his room has had a lot of production. And I think he's ready for the task. Well, we're going to find out. Kafka said he's decided after meeting with General Manager Joe Schoen to discuss his thought process, said that the defensive game planning will continue to be a collaborative effort, perhaps even more so than in the past. Though at the end of the day, it will be Bowen making the calls on the sideline. I think one of the strengths our defensive staff has a lot of really smart coaches in that room, and they can put together a great plan for him and support him, Kafka said, adding that he would also be part of the process. So it's all hands on deck. Everyone's going to be part of it. The players are included in this as well. And so we all got to take ownership in our individual job and then our collective jobs as a unit. So now it can be interesting because Kafka pointed to the extra time the Giants had before their next game a week from Monday. So they got, a full week. They let him go, Bowen go, and now they have basically a full week. So they got a Monday game against the Patriots. Wow, what a great Monday night game. Like I don't know, the Patriots, the number 1 seed maybe in the AFC against like the worst team in football. Wow, what a great Monday night game. Could wind up being good. Could, the Patriots don't score or they don't gain a lot of yards, a ton of yards on offense. Now, also, I think, Drake May, I don't think he's thrown for 300 yards in a game this season. So, if the defense rallies, someone's also going to depend upon also Sexy Dexy because I don't know if it's his elbow or what it is, but it's not getting any better. And basically, pretty much the rest of the season, he's going to be probably pretty much limited the amount of snaps that he has, and whatever's going on with him ain't getting fixed anytime soon. It ain't going to be fixed by the end of the season. It's not happening. Whatever this is just going to be week to week. He's just going to probably gut stuff out. Now, what do you say? Oh no, I feel great. No, he doesn't. There's something every week. He's going to, if it's his elbow, but he wasn't even in there on the first snap of overtime when Jahmyr Gibbs, 69 yards for the touchdown. So he wasn't even on the field then. So his snaps, he only played about 55% of the snaps, I think it was, on defense. So, pretty much the rest of the season. The bye week will be very helpful. Don't get me wrong, because after the Patriots, and we got the bye week. So, if Sexy doesn't do anything, but I'm sure it's going to be something that's going to, hinder him the rest of the season. Hopefully, if he has a whole off season, hopefully maybe next year he can come back. Because Kafka was kind of saying also that Sexy was on the sideline and just like wincing in pain and just like almost tearing up and stuff like that. And, it is what it is. But thankfully, we got rid of, Mr. Bowen. It was a matter of time. He just said whether it was going to be after the final gun of the final game of this season, basically as Bowen's walking to the locker room, they give him his pink slip. By the way, you're gone. You suck, right? Or whether it was going to be after one of these games or not. But, the season's over with once again. Yeah. Those Giants fans, 2-10.